Hello everyone, this is Brett Meyer from the Leadbetter Golf Academy in Orlando, Florida, and just wanted to take a couple moments here to share a recent lesson that the gentleman on the screen had with David Leadbetter. And certainly from a player standpoint and faults that this gentleman came to us with, something that all of us instructors see, you know, on a daily basis, really, some poor actions at setup, whether it was grip, alignment, posture, you know, to a body motion that certainly wasn't allowing him to get the club in the correct positions, to an extremely open club face, a face that stayed very open, and then that downswing plane that faults many amateurs out there, very much steep over the plane, weight distribution that gets very much towards the toes, and then a club path resulting in very much to the left, followed by inconsistent strikes and just a ball flight that we see from a lot of golfers out there, starting very much to the left and then having some sort of a slice or fade look to it. So what David adopted with this player is a lot of techniques, feels, drills that will be included in his new book, The A Swing, coming out May the 12th. And I'm just going to go over some of the keys here that David covered with this player. So you can already see right away at setup just a different golfer there from a posture standpoint. You can tell a lot from a golfer just by the way they address the ball, how athletic they are. You know, are they giving themselves a good chance at setup, you know, to make an efficient start of the backswing and ultimately a good pivot motion that's going to get the club in the right positions. So from the posture standpoint, we can see giving him some space between his hands and his thighs there, not near as much weight back towards his heels, not as much knee flex on the after video on the right. And then also just arms that are hanging, a back that's more activated, and you know, just overall a look that says, hey, this guy's going to have a chance here starting this golf swing. So you can already see how that club and the body want to work differently from the posture, but also, yeah, there were a couple of alignment issues, but the other important thing besides the posture was the grip. We worked that left hand more into the fingers, so you could call it a stronger grip with the left hand. And from the right hand standpoint, feeling that right hand more on top of the club, not necessarily more in the fingers, just more on top of the club, creating some cup, so that from a standpoint that you'll see at the top of the swing, a cup that matches at the top of the swing, the angle between the right and left wrist, that's going to get that club face in a much more neutral but also stronger position throughout the golf swing. So we can see as this gentleman works this club back, one of the highlights is, yeah, the posture really changed the way that his body moves, but that left arm stays more in and underneath the pec there. So we can see left arm stays in and the club head stays out. And yes, that club head is looking at that golf ball longer. So it's almost a feel that as he starts the golf swing, his body, his hands, the club head stay lower, longer. You can see how he really loses touch with the ground before he even starts taking the club back there on the initial swing. And then we can see just kind of how the club's getting picked up, and that club face starts rolling open very early. So by the time the left arms reach about the same angle here, you can see how much further, I'd say that's about the same angle, you can see how much further the club has traveled on the right. All right, and that's a position right there with the start of the swing that I assure you can look at a lot of young PGA Tour, LPGA Tour pros that have that look of left arm in, club head stays out looking at the ball a lot longer than most people would think. So you can see weight moving more into the right heel at the desired time, not as early, not so much of an early turn here on the right. And then by the time that each club gets horizontal with the ground, we see a shoulder plane that's steeper for this gentleman. The right elbow, the right arm is on top of the left, and now with that new grip in the left hand, and especially the right hand, you can see how that cup is working with the right hand, so the club is getting set a lot easier. And it just looks like there's more resistance as he starts this swing. So very much an A swing type look here with the posture, the start of the swing, and then ultimately getting the club more up on its end halfway back. And you can see, look at the difference between the two club face angles at this point. Extremely open on the left, just gets rolled open from the start, and then just keeps working around this gentleman for a club that's not only pointing, you know, left of the target, but very open, not in touch with the ground at all, where here his swing is about 90% done on the right and just completes that coil. It's not a turn, it's more of a coil. Still coiling into his right side. Kept that connection with the right arm towards the body. The left arm is still parallel with his shoulder plane, but have a look there. He's wound up more into his right heel, and look at the difference where that club sets. Not only is it pointing at the target, or it can even go slightly across the line, no problem with that at all, but that club face is now in a good neutral position. So then as he starts his downswing from the ground up, get some dynamics going here. The lower body starts the downswing, whereas on the left, it's more of a kind of a hit, a throw, a push with the right side of the body, the upper body. You can really see that there. But then as we start down, we get that club more in that downswing position where the left arm stays more across his body. It's almost a diagonal shift towards the target there, and that club is falling back onto that original plane line. And have a look at that club face. So not only is the plane line better, but the club face is reacting accordingly. And the weight distribution there very much towards the toes on the left, and then as he comes down and returns that club closer to the golf ball, you can see much more of a neutral plane into the ball. The club path is going to be much different because of it. The face to path won't be near as open coming in. I mean, that is just an amazing difference in a few hours of time here. And then we can see he's got all the room in the world now to not only swing more down the target line, or we actually measured the swing on the right about 2-3 degrees to the right for a club path, whereas the one on the left was about 6 or 7 degrees to the left, and a good release and a full finish onto his left side. So quite the difference here with just an alternative way to make a backswing, and we can really highlight some of the changes here as this gentleman works the club back, gets it on a better plane going back. The body pivot is certainly more efficient, and then what he's doing with the club just follows. So, you know, the dog still wags the tail here. The big muscles move the club. And I've been assisting David for a few years now, and you know, just adopting some of these players, you know, the A-swing techniques, which really is just an evolution of what David has always believed. It's a couple things, meaning the grip and a little bit of the start of the backswing are certainly a little more exaggerated than what most people are used to, but there's many different ways you can achieve the A-swing. I mean, everyone doesn't have to reach the perfect model to be successful here. This gentleman certainly isn't the perfect model, but what he did and the changes he made in a very short amount of time, I mean, he literally went from a 16 handicap swinger of the golf club to, you know, below 10 for sure, if not a 5 or 6. So the results were fantastic, and they've been fantastic with the amateur golfers or tour pros alike. So just one last look here, and in this different player really from the left, the initial swing, to the swing on the right. So I hope everyone learned a little bit, saw some of the features that the A-swing includes, and David's book will be launching on May 12th of this year, 2015. So hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.